Hello, my name is Dennis William Hauck, and I'm going to take you for a short tour of my alchemy lab. Modern laboratories in alchemy and chemistry share a lot in common with medieval laboratories. And the major difference is, of course, that we've got modern equipment today. Most laboratories are arranged in order of operations in alchemy. Different sections of the laboratory are used for different functions following the principles of alchemy. Basically, the first operation in alchemy is calcination, or working with fire, in order to purify the elements and the raw materials that we've accumulated, trying to extract the essence of that material. It ranges from furnaces such as this, and which are basically an oven for lower temperatures and the furnace for the higher temperature work, in which metals are melted in crucibles and ashes are obtained and carried through very high temperatures, 2,000 to 3,000 degrees, in order to get the purification that is desired. The more simpler calcination processes are, of course, drying. Modern herb dryers such as this, which can be found in kitchen stores, supply stores, are used. And the basic operations of calcination are, of course, working with heat and pulverization, followed usually by dissolution operations, or working with water and dissolving materials and dissolving essences, sometimes dissolving the ashes and materials from calcination. Another important operation is separation, where the materials are separated into different layers, for instance in fractional distillation, or in simple funnel work with filter papers, in which the different size materials are separated out. And also centrifuging and gravity separation is another method of separation. Conjunction is a process in which elements are brought together in two vessels or a single vessel in order to combine into a new essence. Fermentation, which is a process that begins with putrefaction, is a major process in alchemy. The alchemists always had a vessel of some type filled with putrefying, disgusting, digesting matter, such as this fermenting chamber, in which the materials are put inside. For instance, grapes, if we're talking grapes, the crushed grapes, pulverized grapes are put into a container, and the container is sealed with a water seal, or hermetically sealed. For instance, water is put in here, and then the top is put in for an airtight container, and the digestion goes on for days or weeks at a time, and changes the chemical composition of the materials. In this case, it produces alcohol. The symbol, in fact, for aqua vita is a symbol for the alcohol that we get from grapes. It's the symbol for the purest alcohol. In today's world, it would be called ethanol in the more general sense, used all through industry and even to power our cars. But in alchemy, aqua vita is the ultimate alcohol. It is the most spiritual alcohol, coming from grapes, and is the alcohol that is preferred for dissolving herbs in alchemy. Of course, alchemists worked with the ancient symbols, which have more meaning for the alchemist, and carry some of the esoteric signatures of the materials being worked with. For instance, symbol here for potash, which is a good name actually, because that's how you form it. You take ash and you put it in a pot and you heat it up for many hours, sometimes even days, and you produce a compound that contains new properties from the ashes. Potash produced potassium compounds. In fact, potassium is potash. You might consider it a derivative of the alchemist term. Another popular element in alchemy is sulfur. This symbol for triple purified or sublimated sulfur. Sulfur became extremely important in alchemy, and in fact sulfuric acid and other sulfur compounds provided healing and powered the Industrial Revolution for many decades. Next process after fermentation is distillation, and basically it involves taking a compound, an impure compound, for instance the dregs and putrefied solution from fermentation, and putting it in an alembic, which is a boiling vessel basically, and then putting it through a process of distillation to separate out the materials involved. For instance, the materials are boiled, the vapors go up and are condensed through a condenser and then drawn off in the vessel. The basic retort, which is something like this, is the simplest distillation apparatus. The water's just boiled, or the material's just boiled in this alembic part, and then it comes out through the long condenser stem and is collected. So the basic shape for a retort is easily recognizable. One retort that was used quite a bit in alchemy is an alchemical apparatus called the Pelican. The Pelican consists of a lower alembic boiling vessel and then a double chamber in the middle chamber where a double circulation is going on. There are usually two arms, reminiscent in the alchemical imagination of a pelican pecking at its breast to feed its young with its own blood, sacrificing itself. And distillation, probably the most important operation in alchemy, does that same thing. It sacrifices the material below to bring out the essences, to nourish the stone. The solution becomes known as the mother of the stone. And through this recirculation, Pelican apparatus, it becomes purer and purer the longer the vessel is heated. So we've got the vessel here coming up with the vapors from the material. The materials are recirculated in part by the Pelican arms, and they go back down into the vessel. So it's a recirculation process, and the final purified essence of the steam come up into the retort part, or the collecting part of the vessel, and the steam condenses and then runs out through a tube where the essences can be collected. Coagulation is a process in alchemy that involves all these processes coming together. So basically it's a operation that concludes of itself if the previous work was done accordingly. But there's all types of intermediate operations that go on in alchemy, as in chemistry, to produce the desired product. But the difference is it's not a commercial enterprise. Alchemy is interested in producing essences and delving into the mystery of matter. And there's a component in alchemy that is not present in chemistry, and it's basically the meditation area. Every alchemical laboratory, by definition, has an oratory or a meditation tabernacle or a space set aside for meditation, where the energies of the above and the below are brought together in one operation. You have the male and female alchemists coming together, a kind of a lateral conjunction of feminine and masculine consciousness coming together to focus on what's going on in the athanor, the furnace of the alchemist, bringing together the essences. The essences above are in the imagination and consciousness of the alchemists themselves, as well as drawing down energies from above. And that is the whole conjunction, vertical conjunction going on here between the powers above and the powers below. Chemists don't work like that. So the whole operations, a whole of operations in alchemy and the meditative work, the practical work in the lab, and the work on one's own psychology, in fact, that simultaneous changes would take place between the alchemist and the material he was working with, is a very intimate relationship not found in chemistry. And the focus on essences, the minute and tiny hidden essences of everything, the sulfur, mercury, and salt, the soul, spirit, and body of everything can be released to transform it into a higher incarnation. So essences are the key and the goal of alchemy.